The amount of illegal breeding is massive. The puppy trade is a multi-million-pound industry. People are now seeing the commodity that is puppies, and because of this, we cannot keep up with the amount of pups that are being sold illegally.
Buying a puppy is usually a happy occasion for families, with almost 1.2 million dogs being bought in the UK during lockdown. But as sales boom like never before, we've seen a stark rise in illegal puppy trading.
Did you always want to have a dog in your life?
I wanted a dog for about maybe 2 years now. I wanted to be fully fit. I got a transplant after years of bad health. The idea was to get myself motivated and moving about.
Earlier this year, David finally found his dream puppy online.
There was 2 of them at the time for sale. I chose the black German Shepherd, and it was the same day that we went and got him. Spoke to someone on the phone. He told us it was cash only.
And then what happened once you got to the breeder's house that day?
The person made an excuse about his son had a breathing issue because of COVID. So he wanted to meet us in the downstairs at the car park. We saw the dog, and I got dead attached to him, like, quickly.
But sadly, the excitement of bringing new pup Cash home didn't last long.
During the middle of the night, I woke up twice. The first time he was still breathing and he was fine, but the second time I went and clapped him, and I knew straight away he was gone. I was really upset.
And did it enter your head at the time that your dog might have come from an illegal puppy farm?
Not at the time, no, but as soon as I knew he was gone, I knew something was wrong.
In 2021 so far, there have been almost 400 calls to the Scottish SPCA about sick puppies coming from suspected illegal farms. That's more than double the number than in the same period in 2020. Chris was one of those heartbroken callers.
I spent the whole days that she was in the hospital on my knees praying. I've never prayed in my life like I prayed for that wee dog.
Chris searched high and low for a dog, but prices were too steep and puppies disappeared so quickly.
One came up that we liked and we thought we'll try again, and we phoned about it, and you find out that the guy's still got it. That's when the head disappears. Your sort of heart takes over.
And whenever the breeder said they wanted to come here rather than you go to their house, did that set off any alarm bells?
No. Looking back on it now, it's pretty stupid, but I was wrapped up thinking, oh, that's good, he's wanting to see where the wee dog's going to go. First thing he said, have you got the money? They dragged her up the steps to the front door, and that was it. I didn't like the way he was handling her. The dog was sort of going round on her stomach, she didn't know where to go. She just ran straight under the couch, and I just said to Keith, give him his money. And by that time he wasn't getting her back anyway, because I thought, you're not right with this dog.
Maria, who works for the Special Investigations Unit at the Scottish SPCA, deals with cases like Chris's every day. Due to the undercover nature of the work she carries out, we've had to protect her identity.
People are easily led because these dealers know what to say. And now you've got COVID into the mix, they will say, you can't come to my home, I need to bring the pup to you because of COVID. You need to meet me in a car park, my wife's shielding. So when people are not knowledgeable about buying pups, they will avoid all red flags simply because they want a pup.
Chris's new family member Isla seemed like a normal, happy puppy at first, but just a few days later, things rapidly deteriorated.
In the middle of the night, I had to phone the emergency vet. She was taken away to the hospital, and it turned out that she was positive for parvovirus and Campylobacter.
It must have been really scary for both of you when you heard that she had parvovirus. You must have just thought the worst.
I've never ever prayed or cried like I did looking at that wee black bundle, helpless in that condition. And but then I knew that we had been duped with this dog.
Parvovirus is such a high mortality rate. It's very, very difficult for an unvaccinated puppy to get over that. Even with vet treatment, the mortality rate for a pup coming from that environment is 80%.
Come on then. Come on. I think that we were lucky with Isla because she was a wee bit older. The vet said she would have died if she hadn't got treated as quickly as she did.
You must just be so thankful that she's still here and thriving.
I thank God every day, yeah, I do, because I really do know how close we were to losing her. And she's here and she's doing grand. Good girl.
David and Chris's experiences are not one-offs. The Scottish SPCA Special Investigations Unit has opened 237 cases so far this year. That's triple the number at this time last year.
So this is an example of a raid that you carried out a little while ago.
What you're seeing here is a large-scale breeding establishment, converted porter cabins that have been turned into kennels that had over 100 animals, and the conditions were extremely unsanitary. The floor is covered in fecal matter. There is urine seeping onto the floor. The dogs had parasites, they had coughs, their welfare was really compromised and many of them died or had to be euthanised.
And this person has since been prosecuted?
This person has been prosecuted for a second time and received a jail sentence.
Which is quite rare, actually.
It is. It showed that the courts do take animal welfare seriously and will prosecute to the full length of the law when they can.
Must be difficult to keep on top of all of these cases.
It's extremely difficult because if you look on selling sites, there are thousands and thousands of adverts for puppies. We can't keep on top of that. There are so many.
A puppy in March last year would cost you on average £900, but by September prices hit £1,900, and now designer dogs online are selling for around £3,000.
It is supply and demand, and because people are paying it, illegal puppy breeders have chose to massively increase the amount of puppies that they've been breeding.
Large-scale legal puppy farms in Ireland are licensed to breed vast numbers of dogs and are churning out hundreds of puppies weekly. These are then being transported to Scotland, where they can make thousands of pounds profit. Sellers often use rented flats as a front to dupe buyers.
Paying a rental for a couple of days is a drop in the ocean to what you're going to make from the sale of these pups. It gives an impression of, that looks like a nice area that somebody lives in. If we know that they're in a rental property, we will go to the rental property. But by the time they sell a pup that's sick and dying, they're gone.
With the puppy trade becoming such a lucrative market, unscrupulous dealers are taking advantage. The number of dogs being stolen in the UK has increased by 170% in the last year.
I would think mainly were stolen to be bred from, to fuel the demand.
Joy had 2 of her 8 adult dogs stolen from her house in March.
The dogs are your family, and it would be like having your child kidnapped. It really would, because they're your life. You do everything with them, you do everything for them. And now, what conditions are they in? Where are they? Are they being cared for? Are they being mistreated? They're probably just in the back of somewhere. You just don't know what's happened to them.
So how do you find a responsible breeder? With so many places to buy, it's difficult to know where to begin. Kay's been breeding Labradors for 20 years.
They need to see pups with mum. They need to see how the mum reacts with puppies. They need to see how the mum reacts with the prospective new owners as well.
What signs should they be looking out for?
Ask the breeder to see those certificates to prove that the tests have actually been done and are satisfactory. The good breeders are out there. Even if you have to wait for a puppy, go on a waiting list, a good puppy will be there for you.
Bringing a puppy into your home always requires careful consideration, but now it's even more important to do your research so you don't get caught out. Experts say it's incumbent on all of us to stop playing into the hands of illegal breeders.
The buying public need to do better. They need to be more aware of what not to do and listen to the warning signs. Don't ignore it.
I don't think you should just go in head first like we did. That was the wrong thing to do. And I think that the advice that I would give to anybody buying a puppy on a site like that is don't allow them to bring the dog to you. You insist if they want to sell your puppy, you go to see it and you want to see it with its mother. It sounds an awful lot of things to do just to buy a wee dog to give it a good home. But I think the trouble you could be asking for and the hurt and the pain to the wee animals is dreadful. It needs to be stamped out.